Hello, this is Cotton Soups, and today's HTUC video is on Dreggodyne. Yeah, it's a pretty weird name to pronounce, but Dreggodyne has a lot of potential in this metagame. Not just because of its monstrous range attack stat, because of the other attributes it also has. So, why not talk about it? In today's video, I'm going to be telling you how to use and counter Dreggodyne. From the counters and checks and teammates you'll need to know during the battle, as well as the general sets you'll need to know for Dreggodyne, and of course the roles and the offensive coverage you will need to know. Today's video is all about dorogo. So the role that Dreggodyne will play is an essential question to ask, and we can answer this question with the base stats. The base stats are really simple here, as its melee attack stat is only really its bad stat. Its melee defense is a bit on the average side, but it is still a weakness for you as your melee defense stat is lower than your actual range attack or range defense stat. And your speed here isn't bad by all means, it's just that you get outsped by a lot of offensive Lumians. This is more of the same case with its pre-evolution dorogo. However, dorogo does get undersped by quite a bit of walls, so there is something to note there. And of course, its HP stat being pretty good. It's 96 HP, which is also pretty good. Its energy stat is 92, which is above the starters, letting you to get up to 250 very easily with no investment, and its range defense stat of 82 pairs really well with its HP stat. This does remind me of Eclipse, as these base stats are similar, so it's pretty similar in bulk to Eclipse. And of course, its best stat is its range attack stat of 135, one of the highest stats in the game. However, it is lower than Lumians like Ikazune. And the role that Dreggodyne will play, it hits very hard, so it is a wall-breaking Lumian. It has really good attributes in that area, and it does have some setup potential. However, it is pretty slow, and it appreciates baffle users, as Lumians in its speed tier, like Lumians like Valkyrie, will definitely appreciate this as well. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Dreggodyne's offensive coverage. Dreggodyne's offensive coverage is just the same as dorogo, as you hit light, plant, mine, bug, brawler, and fire types all super effectively. However, you do not sex resisting, but you do get resisted by dark, metal, spirit, electric, and ice. While not resisting all of your coverage, these are just some single types that will of course resist your coverage. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the set. Dreggodyne's offensive set will be utilizing the ability Anomaly, as this will boost our power +2 every turn when we use Draco Beam. Personality will be very smart, frail, tender, so we can boost our damage as much as possible. And our moveset will be Draco Beam, Mud Spatter, Egg Storm, and Jet Stream. These are 4 moves that will go really great with each other, and Mud Spatter, while isn't the best option, it is one of the only options we have, because we can't use Peace of Mind to of course set up, because that works against Anomaly, and we just don't really have a lot of good move options. You can of course comment your recommendations down below. Health Amulet and Ancient Essence will be used to boost our Draco Beam, or if you want recovery, go ahead. However, you can use boots, especially on more speedy Dreggodynes. However, this Dreggodyne will be a little bit more bulky. I anticipated Dreggodyne to be a little bit more different from dorogo. However, running the same set for dorogo for Dreggodyne actually is pretty good. 200 range attack is basically to max out your stats. You don't really need energy investment because you already got up to 250. 200 HPs to max that out as well. 8 speed will let you outspeed sluggish Stratosaurs, and 88 range fence is the leftovers. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Dreggodyne's offensive counters and checks and teammates. So it is really easy to deal with Dreggodyne offensively because of its speed stat. Light type Lumians such as Nemare and Valkyrie will have a field day against this, as well as Eclipse, and electric types like Zulong, Phagenot, Zip Zap users like Ikazune and Deldrix, and fire types like Ikazune and Volkuloa will do really great against Dreggodyne. What's also good about its defensive counters and checks is it's a little bit more limited. It is the same as dorogo and dorogo, However, it hits a lot harder than both of them combined, so very smart does a chunk to these guys. Just know that a very smart with an Ancient Essence Draco Beam is a 31% chance on a... not 31% chance, 31% on a very clever Pyrolin, so that is something to take into consideration. However, your offensive or defensive teammates is here. Mainly, I would suggest Baffle users like Icicle, Your Snack, and of course the Flash and Fleas like Luminami. And the rest of these guys are either good at pivoting out or they're just pretty good at taking out the defensive counters, or checks in this case, that Dreggodyne has. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the conclusion and my thoughts on Dreggodyne. So overall, Dreggodyne on first look doesn't really look like the best thing because we've had our experiences with slow wall breakers, as we have with Jolttooth, Colossotrops, and much more. However, Dreggodyne, apart from all of them, it has really good coverage to back it up, and I think that's where its best thing is right at the moment. Not to mention, it has a really good way of setting up damage, which obviously makes Dreggodyne really good. The only problem I see with Dreggodyne is, well, yeah, it does hit harder than Dorogo. I don't really think it's gonna crack OU at the moment, specifically because Dorogo is being used a lot more, and Dorogo overall is just a little bit more accessible and is of course easier to use, unlike Dreggodyne, who needs a little bit more support. And I recognize they're both different Lumis at this point, but Dreggodyne, it has a niche. I think it's pretty good at it. It might be one of the best at it actually, but I don't think it'll crack the OU metagame, specifically when there are a lot more faster Lumians that, while sacrificed in damage, they make up in speed or bulk. Lumis like this is Shachi and Haldansik and Barbadger. However, I'm just going on a tangent at this point. Dreggodyne's pretty good. I would suggest this thing with some pivots just to help out its speed stat. If you found this video informational, like the video and subscribe if you're into that. And of course, remember that Zulong is still a dumpster fire.